coming. This, our headliner, Chrissy, has come a long, long way. She is fantastic. We're very lucky to have her here. It's entirely bizarre having this strange background karaoke music. But if you could please make up for that with just your full attention and love and support and laughter, that would be amazing. Thank you so much. Give it up, Chrissy Derbyshire.
I'm going to be singing Cotton Eye Joe at Rednecks. Hi, my name is Chrissy. I'm the one your mother warned you about. Neurodivergent, financially unstable, and not good at housework. She was right. I've got a bit of a weird brain. I do have a weird brain. It gets very preoccupied with things that really aren't worth its time. It's the master of the completely unsolicited deep dive, my brain. But I found a solution. I do, and I would recommend this to any of you. Stand-up comedy. It immediately lends all of my neuroses a bit of gravitas because I'm talking about them into a microphone rather than to my therapist like I should be. The thing that my brain's been preoccupied with lately is a certain poem and what I think it says about us as a society and as a species. I didn't write this poem, it's a traditional one, you probably know it, but I don't think we're asking enough questions about it. Okay, it starts like this. Monday's child, yeah, is fair of face. That's nice, isn't it? That's a nice thing to say, good start. Monday's child is fair of face. If you were born on a Monday, you're probably very attractive. At least that's what I assume they mean by fair. Fair can have a few different meanings though, can't it? Fair can mean just okay. So it could be, like an appropriate answer to how was the Ed Sheeran concert? Fair. So it could be that Monday's child has a passable face. It's all right. Fair can also mean blonde or a travelling carnival. Neither of which can really be applied to a face, can they? So I think we can rule those ones out. And finally, fair could be the opposite of unfair. So it could be that Monday's child has the face they deserve. Or that in terms of faces, Monday's child isn't unjustly disadvantaged. Monday's child, like most children, has a face. I think it's reasonable to assume that they mean fair as in pretty, but you can see how dense with meaning this poem is. You can see why it's been percolating around my brain for so long. Did I say percolating? Yes, I did. Do I say percolating every time I do the set? Yes, I do. Is it the right word? I'm still not sure. We carry on. Okay, Monday's child is fair of face. Tuesday's child, full of grace. That's nice too, isn't it? 2 for 2. Love that for them. Tuesday's child is full of grace. If you're born on a Tuesday, your body's very graceful. You're probably good at dancing or football, stripping or something. Actually, if you want to be a stripper, you're best being born right on the cusp between Monday and Tuesday, because then you have the attractive face and the graceful. Well, I might be overthinking this, to be honest. Now, if you know the poem, you'll know where it's going now. Wednesday's child, not attractive, not graceful. Wednesday's child is full of woe. And it's not even woe like Keanu Reeves, like, whoa! No, it's woe as in misery. If you're born on a Wednesday, your defining feature is that you're miserable. Fuck you if you were born on a Wednesday, according to tradition. So I was born on a Wednesday. I was ADAB, assigned depressed at birth, and in my defence, I have met, if not surpassed, my potential, so go me! Just to very quickly finish the poem off, Thursday's child has far to go. If you're born on a Thursday, you pop out of your mother's downstairs area, the midwife immediately drop kicks you way across the field, the crowd goes wild. That's what happens if you're born on a Thursday. Friday's child is loving and giving, so if it's not so much stripping as sex work you're into, ideally you'd want to be born on a Friday. Saturday's child works hard for a living. He has to, because he's not attractive or graceful or kind. But at least he wasn't born on a Wednesday. And finally, the child that was born on the Sabbath day is bonny and blithe and good and homosexual, and that's the end of that poem, okay? What a load of rubbish. Don't get me wrong, I think it's absolutely fascinating and delightful the way we as humans find meanings and patterns in things, but that can lead us to doing illogical stuff like attempting to put human beings into categories. And that's just a fool's errand, isn't it? I mean, I have several of you here. Should I be alphabetizing you? Is that what one does? You absolutely cannot colour code people, that's racism. People still try and put people into categories, other people and themselves. Like for instance, I don't know about you, but I have some personality traits. Yeah, I have some tendencies. A good cheer for personality traits there. The vaguest possible thing you can be into. Yeah, there are some things about me. And a lot of people would tell you that all those traits, all those tendencies, all those things about me were preordained by the zodiac sign that I was born under. And I don't think I'm an exceptionally complicated person, but I don't think my horoscope can define all of me. Like, when I recently put both my hands in the bin in a public bathroom because I thought it was a Dyson Airblade, my first response wasn't, typical Gemini. No, my first response was, why is there half a Nando's in here? Weird thing to do, eat Nando's in the toilet. Bet that person was a Libra, am I right? No, I'm not, it's bollocks. We need better ways of categorising people. You know, it must categorise people. And my pitch for this, okay, bear with me, the Dewey Decimal System. Yay! Cheer for the Dewey Decimal System. I found my audience. For those of you who don't know, the Dewey Decimal System is the system that librarians traditionally use to classify different types of books. And I'm not saying that I identify more with books than I do with human beings, but I'm absolutely saying that. Look at me, are you surprised? I think I could only come across more like a librarian if every time you laughed I shushed you. But yeah, Dewey Decimal System, it's got many, many categories. Still not enough, but better than 12 or 7. And it kind of works. It's quite specific. I've been tentatively assigning some people in my life Dewey Decimal numbers. Yeah, my crush I've got under 611, anatomy. My ex, 616, diseases. And for myself, I wasn't sure, but in the end I went for 572. That's previously emotions, and now no longer used. These days we have a lot more vocabulary to talk about ourselves, to kind of define ourselves in different ways. I think that's fantastic. But there are people out there who get very, very cross about it. Oh, they get so cross. I've been online dating recently, and I came across one guy's profile, but I didn't come across it. As soon as I read his bio, my vagina just, no thank you, closed for business. Because this guy's bio genuinely said, I refuse to acknowledge anyone who uses pronouns. Now my grammar nerds will know where I'm going with this. I'd like to think that that's a dead profile now, because at some point he had some kind of grammatical epiphany about the words I and anyone, and immediately by his own rules ceased to exist. The way that I find most comfortable to define myself, though, for better or for worse, is by the way in which my brain is broken. A lot of my friends suffer from anxiety. I suffer from depression because I was born on a Wednesday. And I also have ADHD, you might have noticed. And one of the symptoms that I experience has the best and the least appropriate name. Okay, it's a thing called executive dysfunction. Oh, executive dysfunction, what a name. It just means that you find it very difficult to get up and do stuff. But what a name, executive dysfunction. Oh, ambassador. With this executive dysfunction, you're really stopping me from brushing my teeth or going to the toilet. Sorry, I couldn't attend your soiree tonight. I was attending an executive dysfunction. I'm losing the mic here a bit. Yes, I was dissociating in the middle of getting dressed for a full hour, just staring at my own arm. no, I have been being quite brave lately. Been being quite brave, been trying some new material, some on stage and in life. On stage I've been trying to be funny. Thought I'd give that a go for a change, instead of confusing and troubling. And in life I've been working towards becoming a viable human being. And it has been an uphill struggle, not gonna lie, it's been an uphill struggle. Most struggles are uphill, really, aren't they, when you think about them? Hardly ever hear of struggles in other directions. Sisyphus chasing a boulder down a hill, like, shit, catch it. But yeah, there are several things getting in the way of me being a functioning human being. As I said, I have ADHD, I have poor impulse control, poor short-term memory, I'm clinically depressed, I have poor short-term memory, and I'm an introvert. And all of these things together can mean that I sometimes find it a bit difficult to connect with a crowd in the way I'd like to. I find it quite difficult to do the kind of crowd work that a lot of comedians do. Partly because I don't really understand small talk. I don't really get how small talk works. I've been working on it though. I can try. Let's see how far I can get with this. I can get really far. Hi. Do you like weather? I don't know. Doesn't work, does it? Just doesn't work. The other thing that comedians sometimes do is they'll try and roast the audience, won't they? They'll be a bit mean. I don't think I'm very good at being mean either. Again, I could try. Hi, I'm going to call you Ian Nicehair, I think. Hi. Do you mind if I roast you a little bit? Is that all right? Okay. Get ready for a roasting. The sports team that you support isn't very good. The other sports team scores more goals or tries or wickets or whatever the points are called in dressage. I don't know what sports you like. It could be a bit more personal. Look at you there with your face. They're on the front of your head. What a cliche. I don't know. The trouble is when I'm at my normal, my natural self, that's a lot more intense than a situation like this really calls for. Again, I could, hi, you all right? Yeah? Not constantly haunted by the knowledge that we all eventually turn to dust? No? How do you feel about the crippling existential dread of being a vivid panoramic soul trapped inside a decaying meat prison, barreling towards death? Woo! You can tell the comedians because they cheer for the sweet embrace of death. Yeah, I can't imagine why I'm still single. When I begin interactions with phrases like decaying meat prison. I was asked out by a guy once, though. I was chatted up by a guy. Didn't turn out well in the end, mostly because he used the unusual strategy of attempting to ask me out by insisting, increasingly angrily, that I was, in his words, some kind of Asian. I'm not. I'm actually half Eastern European, which means that I'm very expressive and I take up space. And I'm half British, which means I'm really sorry about it. Means that more than 20 years after the fact, I still haven't quite gotten over the time when I accidentally touched a guy's crotch in Covent Garden while doing what can only be described as too much gesturing. I was only 16, it was the first one I'd ever touched. Not the last. Nearly the last. Don't know why I'm sharing all this with you. I just feel like, I feel like we've got a connection. It's just not natural. It's not even awkward anymore. It's just fun. We're just vibing. Do you guys want a date? Any of you? All of you? Coffee, sex, cohabitation, marriage? Yeah? Thank you. You've made me the happiest stand-up comedian alive. Work out the details later. No, actually, just because I don't have a long-term romantic partner doesn't mean I'm necessarily a lonely person. There are actually two men in my life. One of them, he's got quite an unusual job actually. He's one of those plush sharks from IKEA. You know, those oversized cuddly sharks. We're not officially married yet. He's more of a common law husband. I do sleep with him though, obviously. Not like that yet. And the other man in my life, of course, is my cat, Bernard. And I thought I was being quite funny, quite original, quite cute, giving him a just some guy kind of name. But it turns out that there's a bit of a fashion these days for giving cats names that sound like they're just a bloke you met down the pub. Like, sometimes you'll go to a friend's house and you'll see, say, the most beautiful, purebred, clear blue-eyed ragdoll cat. It's gorgeous, it's sumptuous, it's all lush fur and deep purrs. It looks like the kind of thing that someone might wear, you know, if they were awful. You find yourself producing open tins of salmon that you didn't even have on your person to begin with. Your body's just producing them like biological imperative brought on by how beautiful this cat is. And it's got a little glint of evil in its eye, but you know that you'd die for it. You'd kill for it. And you say, my God, what a stunning cat. And your friend says, yeah, that's Ian. He's a dickhead. Dogs, on the other hand, dogs are treated like gods in this country. And you know, fair play, from a spelling perspective, not a big leap. Also fair play, you know, because dogs are lovely, aren't they? Even as a cat person, I can understand why dogs are so loved in this country. But sometimes you'll go around a friend's house and you'll see their dog. Or at least you've been reliably informed that it's a dog. If you didn't know better, you might think it was a very old, dirty, threadbare hand puppet that's been turned inside out. Or an octopus that's been dropped on a sticky rug. Looks like it's been long dead, it's been buried, dug up again, it smells like that too, but unaccountably it's still moving. It's either got no eyes or too many eyes, depending on which way you look at it. You can't tell which part of it is which. You think you see its tongue lolling around and then it puts weight on it, that's its leg. It looks like if it threw up, and that's a small if. If it threw up, you might accidentally leave the vomit, scrape up the dog. That's what it looks like. But you, because you're British and you're polite, of course you say, oh, what a lovely dog. And your friend says, I know. This is Angel. He's a Shih Tzu Pug Doberman cross. He's the most beautiful thing in my life. At that point you can kind of see where they're coming from, because you've seen photos of their baby. I've actually got a child myself. Not an eldritch monstrosity, just a regular kid. Although I would say that, wouldn't I? I love being a parent though, I really love having a kid. I think it is so moving being privileged to watch this screaming potato gradually blossom into a weirdly dependent flatmate. The thing about being a parent though is that you spend so much of your time, so much of your life, your energy, your soul parenting, that when it's time to stop parenting, it's really hard to turn it off. Yeah, you do find yourself pointing out moo cows to strangers on the bus. The worst one of these that ever happened to me was that my partner at the time, he had a friend round. So this was two guys in their late 30s, kicking back, playing cards in my living room. And let me tell you, it really does change the whole vibe of an evening. When you go up to your long-term romantic partner and his friend who you don't know very well, lean over them and say, will mummy get you a drink? Ooh. I had to have a threesome that night just to save face. You've been absolutely brilliant. I unfortunately have been Chrissy Derbyshire. Thank you, sorry, please ignore me, I wasn't here. Me too.
And that's it, we survived. It's a Derbyshire everyone. Thank you so much for coming to an evening of comedy.